So by now, you have probably watched the flashcard tutorial and how to use the template. So there's a couple more things I would like to talk about with regard to the template and to what some of the things I noticed when students handed things in. So don't forget to watch in your content management system the tutorial on flashcard template use. It's going to be very helpful. But in the interim, I also want to open up Illustrator quickly, and I want to talk about, so here's the template again, and I want to talk about that you need, the template that I'm giving you now has 3 areas for the back of the card. So this is the design area that you should have on the back of the card. And you should leave these exactly where they are, because when they go to the printer, then this can print double-sided, meaning that one sheet of paper will have, the front will be the card and the back will be the pattern on the back of the card. And then they'll be cut and laminated. All right, so don't forget this blue area is where your pattern is supposed to be. So let's go take a look at some of the patterns and what students did with them. So I'm going to go to Acrobat and I'm going to open some of the files. So first we'll look at Abigail's. So there I can see Abigail has her stuff, and you'll see that when I open it, if I go to Organize, you'll notice that in between every card, here's her cards, and then there's a pattern, and then the card and the pattern, and the card and the pattern. This is the way it has to be in order to create a proper file for the printer. This is one of the things that you need to do. So when you move things around in Acrobat, how do you get to move them? Well, we can drag them around like so, and you'll notice that we get a bar here. Or we can do this other thing where if I click on this and I go to copy, I can copy this, and then let's say I wanted to paste one somewhere. All I'd have to do is click here on that blue arrow and hit paste, and notice that now I get another one. If I want to get rid of this, I just roll over it, hit delete, and there it says you're going to delete that. So now you can see there's all my stuff. So that's like one thing that you have to remember. But there's another thing that I've noticed, and that is that if you do not use a common font, so for example you use a font that someone else's computer is not going to recognize, like Helvetica is only read on or on Mac computers. PC computers many times cannot read them, right? So they use Arial instead, or someone would have to buy the Helvetica. So what you're going to need to do is, if you are going to use a font that is not a normal font, you are going to have to outline that font. So that means once you put your letter in, so I'm just going to put a letter in. Actually, let me just file open one of the AI files with the example. So let me go ahead and open this one from the other video. So if I were going to use this and I want to make sure that you can read this, right, that the printer can read it and it doesn't change the font, I would need to go to Type and create outlines, just like you would if you were in the Illustrator class. So you would go all the way here to create outlines, or the fast key would be Shift Command O for outline. So once I do that, notice that now this is no longer a font, it is an object. And the same thing with the type. If you are going to, you got to make sure you've spelled everything correctly, because otherwise, if you don't do that, then when you go to do it, it's going to put a default font. So if I go to print it, or you go to print it, and the printer doesn't have this font that you have, you're going to get a default font. You're going to get something else. So that's a problem. So here's an example. I'm going to go File. Let me open up another one. So let me go to some student files. I think it was one of these. This one was okay. So I'll just show you some examples of what students have done. So there's some pretty nice ones in here. So here's Caitlin. And we're going to say, we're going to do them all. And we'll say OK. And let's get in here. So she made her whole background blue. And Command negative. I'm just going to, so I'm looking at this in Illustrator. And then see how here's her background. So that's her pattern that she has on the back of her cards. And then this is what each of her cards look like, right? So I opened up this in Illustrator. Because it's a small Illustrator file, it comes in with an X just like an image. Now if I go into Acrobat, let's open it there. So let's see what happens. So I'm going to go to Open, and I'm going to go to Caitlin's and open it here. And notice that I can see everything. Nothing looks funny. It looks like everything's working just fine, right? So if I want to zoom in, I can, zoom in. And I can take a look at everything, and there it all is, right? So let's keep opening them up and see what else other people did. This one is Ryan's, and it's really awesome. She tried to do a theme on old-fashioned Polaroids, and she has like kind of bad photographs, and she sort of did a landscape theme, and then she did her little orange area and then put in her information for each of the different cards. So let's go to Organized Pages, and there you can see, oh, this is the wrong one. Hang on. File, Open. So it would be this one. This is the one. So originally she sent me this in two different areas. Now she did not put a background in, so we just kept that blue background. But it would have been nice to have a background pattern for this one. All right, let's keep looking at some other ones because I think it helps gives you ideas. So this is Jamie. And when I open up Jamie's, everything looks good. I can read everything. Here's his background. Now this is going to get cut off. So when the card gets cut, you're not going to see the whole word of typo anatomy. So that's a problem. Another problem that we have here is, let me just go back to Organize. I think I saw, was it here? Let me zoom in. Nope, that looks pretty good. You got to be careful about like this word crossbar. It looks to me, if you look at the O here compared to the O here, it looks like somehow this got crushed, like pushed down. Look at, he's got crossbar in twice, right? So why is it in twice? So that's a problem. Height is spelled wrong. So these are just things you want to check, right? So anyway, so let's look at another one. And there we have, this is really quite nice. She did a beautiful, beautiful design for the back. And you kind of did this to fill the whole space. I think it's really great. Okay. And let's look at one more. Trinity. And there's Trinity. She kind of did this explosion, which I think is going to turn out really fun. And there you can see hers. And she did not do a background. The background on her cards will be white. So that's about it. I hope you have fun making your flashcard, and I hope the template helps you a great deal, and I can't wait to see them. And that's about it. Talk to you next time.